Good evening. It is Monday, March 1st, 6:30 p.m. I'm Mayor Chris Martin, calling to order the regular session of the Logansport Common Council. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Amy Denmore?
Present.
Jonathan Elms?
Present.
Victor Don?
Present.
Scott Beatty?
Present.
Dave Morris?
Present.
Paul McPherson?
Present. Bear's here. We'll start with the approval of minutes from the February 1st, 2021 meeting.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Any further discussion? Call for question.
Amy Denmore?
Yes.
Jacob Don?
Yes.
Paul McPherson?
Yes.
Dave Morris?
Yes.
Jonathan Elms?
Yes.
Scott Beatty?
Abstain.
So it'll be five, 5-0-1.
All right. Approval of minutes for the February 1st, 2021 meeting has been approved. Comments of the mayor. Congratulations, council, and the city of Logansport for winning the 80-20 federal grant for sidewalks around the schools. Thank you, council, for helping us with that. We appreciate it. Reports from committees, boards, and commissions.
On February 15th, we had a finance committee meeting. We talked about the Reimagine HCI. We talked about the McClure tax abate, Titan bats. We talked about trash rates, which is going to be moved sometime in March, April, May. We talked about insurance for the employees, health insurance premium. We talked about the Baker Tilly contract for comparison of salaries for city employees, and we talked about the economic stimulus package for local businesses. And on February the 22nd, we had a finance committee meeting. We talked about the HCI again. We talked about the police SWAT equipment. Talked about the renewal of the net contract. We talked about the fire department placing money from the state hospital into a non-reverting fund. And we talked about the treasurer's Baker Tilly renewal contract. And then on March the 1st, we had another finance committee meeting. We talked about the economic stimulus package through Salvation Army and Emmaus for local businesses, Mayor. That's it.
Thank you, Carl.
Mr. Mayor, there was a Rules Committee on February 15th. We discussed the Logan Economic Development appointment from the council and TIF districts. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Anybody in the audience have anything they would like to say? Please come forward to the mic. State your name and address. Seeing none. No old business. On to new business. Resolution 2021-110. Councilman Morris.
Resolution 2021-110, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Logansport, Indiana regarding tax abatement for personal property investment for McClure Oil Corporation. I'd make a motion to move this forward for a vote.
I second.
Any further discussion?
Phil, do you want to say anything about this? We can probably consolidate them here.
Since our meeting on one of those meetings, February 15th, I think it was, we talked about McClure in depth. I have had a couple of concerns, comments from the public addressing that. The way these projects work, I would love that step 1 through 6 was consistent all the time, where they go to Aaron first, they look at the plan, they get a site plan, it makes sure it aligns with the plan commission, and are there any variances that need to be looked at, and then we move to financial. In a perfect world, that's how it would work. Many companies simply want to know some financial things before they spend money on everything I just mentioned. Site planning, layout, construction drawings, things like that. With them, what's in front of you are basically monetary incentives of a potential investment that may come to Logansport. It's not a guarantee. The newspaper article made it look like it was a slam dunk. They're coming, they're building. There's things to get done and agreed upon. So this step is simply the monetary investment, so we can go back to them and say, the City of Logansport is on board for tax abatements for personal property and real estate. That's the vote tonight. From there, we got to let the process take its place. We have planning commissions involved. We have Aaron's department. We have a group that would approve variances. For instance, I forget the acronym right now. What's the acronym, Aaron? The committee that...
BZA.
BZA. Yeah, there's so many acronyms. Yeah, BZA. So the good thing is Logansport has processes in place that something can't just get squeaked in there and we're like, wow, how'd that happen? So this is a step on monetary. If you approve it, that's simply all it is. There's other processes that come and we'll make sure that nothing comes here that's not agreed upon.
Anybody have any questions for Bill before he steps away?
Nope, I know.
Thank you, Bill.
Any further discussion? Anyone from the audience? Go ahead. Come forward. State your name and address for us, please.
Tom Nelson, 1523 East Broadway. I also serve on the Plan Commission and have for several years. I kind of brought my Bible with me. I'm not going to get into it, but it's basically the comprehensive plan. And it was a document that was revisited several years ago. I think several of you were in attendance at some of those meetings. I know you were. Pretty sure you were. Scott, I think you were too. Mm-hmm. And the comprehensive plan is just a overall picture of what the people who live and work in Logansport and Cass County want to see. And there was a good turnout of probably 100 or more residents, let alone 6 months worth of time that was put into the comprehensive plan. And I brought that up because there are zoning let me just say this. There are two types of zoning out in that heartland area where this property is that is wanting to be developed by McClure's. And it's zoned LCG, which is Logansport Gateway Commercial. No place in the description of Logansport Gateway Commercial is, I'm going to be real careful how I say this, but is there any room for a truck stop? Now, if it was zoned a little bit different, Logansport Gateway Industrial, then a truck stop could go at that location. But there's no zoning like that anywhere near there. My concern is that I also have, this is public record, but a document that was signed by Kelly McClure August 18th of 2013. Should be 14. And the plans that they had previously presented for a gas and go or convenience store at that location were approved with conditions. And I would respectfully suggest that if it goes forward as it was approved 6 years ago, then granting these monies to allow them or help them to do this is a good thing. We all need improvements in our community. That is a gateway location, and I think it's really important that we consider very strongly, going back to the comprehensive plan, what we want people to see when they first come into our community. I'm going to add one last thing, and I know this is very preemptive. They could turn a shovel of dirt tomorrow and start based on what was approved 6 years ago. All right? The one thing that I really don't want to see out there, and this is just me personally, is some 50 or 60 foot sign. I don't think it's necessary. I just came back from Fort Myers, and when you drive through Bonita Springs, Estero, Naples, all these cities have multiple businesses in, just a short 1-2 mile stretch. They all have monument signs. There are no towering signs, and especially out there where there's nothing else around. And that's my 2 cents. I appreciate your time. Thank you. I just hope that these monies will help them to do something that is amenable to the entire community.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, call for question.
Andy Danforth,
Yes.
Carl McPherson,
Yes.
Dave Morris,
Yes.
Jake McDonald,
Yes.
Jonathan Allen,
Yes.
Scott Beach,
Yes.
Resolution 2021-110 passes. Resolution 2021-111, Councilman Beatty.
Resolution 2021-111, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Logansport, Indiana, regarding tax abatement for real estate investment from McClure Oil Corporation. Mr. Mayor, I ask for a vote on Resolution 2021-111, please.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Quick note, sorry. It's in the TIF area, which they capture the real estate tax, so I did go to the TIF board and got approval from them. Even though statutory-wise, you're the approving group, I wanted to have their support for it, so we did obtain the approval, so I'm going to let you know.
Can I ask you just one quick question, though? Is this, for gas stations, are they normally something that we do these for? Or is it just kind of our own discretion on these?
You have to be in the economic development zone area. It's not what I would normally come to you for. It's not the typical industry that I would come for an abatement for. The reason behind this one, as we talked about, is the development of that area. I thought it needed that additional spurring to get this going, but typically no.
Yeah, well, I'm in agreement with you, but it was a question I was asked, and I really didn't have a good answer for it. And I do think that the benefit from this would be seen beyond the gas station, so thank you.
Yeah, the reason I'm voting for it is because nothing's out there yet. Everybody's waiting for something to come first. And if they get out there, then we can see maybe a motel or other businesses, restaurants or anything else coming to the area.
Sure. Any further discussion? Call for question.
Scott Beatty.
Yes.
Jonathan Ellis.
Yes.
Jacob Don.
Yes.
Dave Morris.
Yes.
Carl McPherson.
Yes.
Amy Dinsmore.
Yes.
Resolution 2021-111 passes. Resolution 2021-112, Councilman Nellens.
Resolution 2021-112, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Logansport, Indiana, appropriating funds to Logansport HCI Fund or Logansport Reimagined from the General Fund. Mr. Mayor, I ask for a vote on Resolution 2021-112.
I second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jacob Don.
Yes.
Dave Morris.
Yes.
Carl McPherson.
Yes.
Scott Beatty.
Yes.
Jonathan Ellis.
Yes.
Amy Dinsmore.
Yes.
Resolution 2021-112 passes. Resolution 2021-113, Councilman Ladon.
Resolution 2021-113, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Logansport, Indiana, authorizing the expenditure of seeded funds for the economic stimulus program for local businesses. Mr. Mayor, I ask for a vote on Resolution 2021-113.
I second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jonathan Ellis.
Yes.
This one?
Carl McPherson.
Yes.
Dave Morris.
Yes.
Jacob Don.
Yes.
Amy Dinsmore.
Yes.
Scott Beatty.
Yes.
Resolution 2021-113 passes. Resolution 2021-114, Councilor Dinsmore.
Resolution 2021-114, a resolution of the Common City Council of Logansport, Indiana, providing city employees relief from increased medical insurance costs for the year 2021. I'd like to move Resolution 2021-114 forward for a vote.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to just say a couple things. I've had some discussions with Dwayne since we passed the original version of this. For all the employees out there, I know some of you have seen the schedule we had prescribed originally, and how we thought it was all going to play out. Well, through some samples of Lori, and she's determined that it won't work quite the way we had anticipated, like all good plans. But she has got it worked out, and as soon as she has the exact details on how she's going to disperse those, she'll get with you. But basically, the schedule remains the same, but we also had a few employees that fell through the cracks where they switched from one plan to another during the year, and we'd overlooked that, so I can take the credit for that part. But anyways, the reimbursement is moving forward, and I know the council is excited about the fact we can afford to do this. So that's it.
Any further discussion?
Thank you, Dave, for heading that up.
Call for question.
Dave Morris.
Yes.
Jacob Don.
Yes.
Amy Dinsmore.
Yes.
Scott Beatty.
Yes.
Jonathan Ellis.
Yes.
Carl McPherson.
Yes.
Resolution 2021-114 passes. Resolution 2021-115, Councilman McPherson.
Resolution 2021-115, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Logansport, Indiana, approving one, a declaratory resolution amending the allocation area for the Airport Industrial Park Economic Development Area to extend the terms of said allocation area, and two, the order of the City of Logansport Plan Commission related thereto. Mayor, say that we pass this on for a full vote.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
Bill, do you want to say anything, or are you good with it the way it is?
I'm good, you're good. It's gone through the proper, it was TIF group first, planning commission second, now it's your group. And again, it's just establishing this extension of the industrial park to the 30-year term, which is essentially 10 more years. So that the TIF group would have control of the funds to spend it. After the 10th year, that comes back to the city. But we have a lot more stuff to do out there, and I hope you're on board to extend it.
Okay, well, I appreciate it, because I know, I know several people that I communicate with, and this is what they watch this, so a little bit of an explanation.
I get you now.
Is helpful for them. I understand what we're doing, but there's people that might be at home that,
Okay.
so, thank you.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jake McDonald.
Yes.
Carl McPherson.
Yes.
Dave Morris.
Yes.
Jonathan Allen.
Yes.
Amy Denzel.
Yes.
Scott Peet.
Yes.
Resolution 2021-115 passes. Resolution 2021-116, Councilman Beatty.
Resolution 2021-116, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Logansport, Indiana, approving number one, a declaratory resolution and economic development plan of the City of Logansport Redevelopment Commission establishing the Logansport Junction Economic Development Area, which declaratory resolution also removes certain property from the City of Logansport Consolidated Economic Development Area, and number two, the order of the City of Logansport Plan Commission related thereto. Mr. Mayor, I ask for a vote on Resolution 2021-116, please.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
To give the summary of this, if you don't mind, this is the area known as the mall. It's already in the TIF area, so to bond it, we have to have this declaratory resolution. We're going to piece out that piece of property where the mall sits now. So when we bond it, the money that's generated from the mall pays for the bond, and other companies in that TIF area do not have to contribute to this bond. It avoids conflict and upset companies. So this specifically you see the map, and again, this went from TIF to Plan Commission to you guys. So if you have any questions on that, this will start the process.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Scott Peet.
Yes.
Jonathan Allen.
Yes.
Jake McDonald.
Yes.
Dave Morris.
Yes.
Carl McPherson.
Yes.
Amy Denzel.
Yes.
Resolution 2021-116 passes. Resolution 2021-117, Councilman Nels.
Resolution 2021-117, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Logansport, Indiana, approving one, a declaratory resolution and economic development plan of the City of Logansport Redevelopment Commission, establishing the Logansport Sioux Economic Development Area, which declaratory resolution also removes certain property from the City of Logansport Consolidated Economic Development Area, and two, the order of the City of Logansport Plan Commission related thereto. Mr. Mayor, I ask for a vote on Resolution 2021-117.
I second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Amy Denzel.
Yes.
Carl McPherson.
Yes.
Dave Moore.
Yes.
Jake Ladon.
Yes.
Jonathan Allen.
Yes.
Scott Peet.
Yes.
Resolution 2021-117 passes. Ordinance 2021-02, Counselor Dinsmore.
Ordinance 2021-02, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Logansport, Indiana, approving an additional appropriation for a truck lift for the street department. I'd like to move ordinance 2021-02 forward for a vote.
I second.
Any further discussion?
Is this time sensitive or,
Sure.
so we want to,
If we can, suspend, yes.
okay. Okay.
And it's got to be ordered, so I'll get another 2 or 3 weeks probably. So yeah, we can streamline that, everything.
Okay.
Call for question on the first reading of ordinance 2021-02.
Dave Morris.
Yes.
Jonathan Allen.
Yes.
Scott Peet.
Yes.
Amy Dinsmore.
Yes.
Jake Ladon.
Yes.
Carl McPherson.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-02 passes on the first reading.
I make a motion to suspend the rules and move ordinance 2021-02 to vote for the second time.
I second.
Call for question on suspension of rules.
Dave Morris.
Yes.
Jake Ladon.
Yes.
Amy Dinsmore.
Yes.
Scott Peet.
Yes.
Jonathan Allen.
Yes.
Carl McPherson.
Yes.
Suspension of rules is passed. Do I have a motion to approve ordinance 2021-02 on second reading?
So moved.
I second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Carl McPherson.
Yes.
Jake Ladon.
Yes.
Amy Dinsmore.
Yes.
Scott Peet.
Yes.
Jonathan Allen.
Yes.
Dave Morris.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-02 passes on its second reading. Ordinance 2021-03, Councilman Don.
Ordinance 2021-03, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Logansport, Indiana, approving the expenditure of incentive funds for Titan Pack Company, LLC. Mayor, I ask to move ordinance 2021-03 forward for a vote.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jonathan Allen.
Yes.
Carl McPherson.
Yes.
Dave Morris.
Yes.
Jake Ladon.
Yes.
Amy Dinsmore.
Yes.
Scott Peet.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-03 passes on its first reading. Ordinance 2021-04, Councilman Morris.
Ordinance 2021-04, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Logansport, Indiana, amending the Fire Department Ambulance Services Fund to include State Hospital Calls Fund. I would make a motion to move this forward for a vote.
I second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Dave Morris.
Yes.
Carl McPherson.
Yes.
Jonathan Allen.
Yes.
Jake Ladon.
Yes.
Amy Dinsmore.
Yes.
Scott Peet.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-04 passes on its first reading.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules on this. I know Rick's got funds that he's already got available to deposit in his funds, so I'd like to suspend the rules on this.
I second.
Call for question on suspension of rules.
Carl, second.
Yeah.
Okay, Carl McPherson,
Yes.
Jonathan Downs,
Yes.
Scott Beatty,
Yes.
Amy Dinsmore,
Yes.
Jake Levon,
Yes.
Dave Morris.
Yes.
Suspension of rules has passed. A motion to move forward with the second reading of ordinance 2021-04.
So moved.
I second.
Oh, sorry, time is up.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Scott Beatty,
Yes.
Amy Dinsmore,
Yes.
Jake Levon.
Yes.
Jonathan Downs,
Yes.
Carl McPherson,
Yes.
Dave Morris.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-04 passes on its second reading. Ordinance 2021-05, Councilman Petey.
Ordinance 2021-05, ordinance to the Common Council of the City of Logansport, Indiana, establishing Department of Economic Development and authorizing related matters. Mr. Mayor, I ask for a vote on ordinance 2021-05, please.
I second.
Any further discussion? Call for question on the first reading of ordinance 2021-05.
Scott Beatty,
Yes.
Jonathan Downs,
Yes.
Jake Levon,
Yes.
Dave Morris,
Yes.
Carl McPherson,
Yes.
Amy Dinsmore.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-05 passes on its first reading.
I'd like to request, with the timing of the bonding, that could go up for suspension of rules.
I'll make a motion that we suspend the rules for second reading, please.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All right, call for question on suspension of rules.
Carl McPherson,
Yes.
Jonathan Downs,
Yes.
Scott Beatty,
Yes.
Amy Dinsmore,
Yes.
Jake Levon,
Yeah.
Dave Morris.
Yes.
Suspension of rules is passed. We have a motion to approve ordinance 2021-05 on its second reading.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Amy Dinsmore,
I do have a question.
Okay.
Okay, I see it in section 3. I wasn't sure. So I noticed Jeff didn't come tonight, so I was
Scared him
reading
off.
back out.
He went to Florida.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if we had to verbally announce his name, and then I found it. So, yes.
Hey, you really scared him off.
Carl McPherson,
Yes.
Dave Morris,
Yes.
Jake Levon,
Yeah.
Jonathan Downs,
Yes.
Scott Beatty.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-05 passes on its second reading. Public comments.
Get two. You've heard from me enough. On the sidewalk program, as Logansport Schools, school board president, we greatly appreciate the mayor and deputy mayor's work to even bring that to you guys. We desperately need it. We don't have the funding. We have things that we can use funding for. It's just not in our wheelhouse of what we can do. So we greatly appreciate your work and Jacob's work, and then you guys approving the match to get that done, because that's a great thing for us. And then on the school process, I think you're aware we're constructing a very multi-million-dollar school on Chase Road, and working with contractors and engineers, and they've been very appreciative of the work and dedication of our planning department, so Aaron's group, and LMU. So working with those two groups has been great for us. It's going smooth. They say you don't get that in other communities all the time, so I think you should be proud of LMU's work, administration's work, and Aaron's group. So, thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Any other public comments? Seeing none, council member comments.
I'd like to just say that I appreciate everyone in the audience for coming out tonight, the council for having a very constructive meeting, specifically Councilman Ladon for Resolution 2021-113, which I think will greatly benefit the community. Going back to what was said about the sidewalk grants, I'm very excited to hear that that was approved. It's very important for our kids. I live in a school area, so seeing the sidewalks be improved is a big deal for me. And I'd like to, since I haven't had the opportunity before, thank the street department for all their work with the snow this last month. I know a lot of other communities were having a hard time with that, and they did a terrific job, so thank you.
Any other council member comments?
Thanks for pushing through the resolution of the economic stimulus.
Now, Bill, I'm going to toot your horn a little bit. You're thanking everyone else, but you're a vital cog in so many different things that go on in our city, our school system. Setting up these TIFs is no easy thing. I know what you've done to get to the point we're at now, and I'm excited to see where this leads us. So thank you a lot, Aaron. Thank you also, and look forward to great things. And Tony, I'm going to chime in on the street too. My wife and I, for Valentine's Day, we went south. We went to Madison, Indiana, and I helped push people away from the sides of the street because of the poor job their city's done. And I told her while we were down there, I said, this wouldn't happen back home. So we do appreciate, sometimes you have to go somewhere else to truly see what you have. And so thank all your guys.
Any other council member comments? All right, miscellaneous business and any matters not already considered, including ADA Section 504 compliance or concerns. Seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. Call for question.
Carl Pearson.
Yes.
David Dinsmore.
Yes.
Dave Morris.
Yes.
David Don.
Yes.
Jonathan Nelms.
Yes.
Scott Pease.
Yes.
7:07 p.m. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Serious?